Hi, friends. Welcome back. Let me just adjust this so you can see Mo a little better. There you go, buddy. So Mo and I are here to talk about "To All the Boys I Loved Before." It is the book that I was most recently reading, as you likely know. I don't even know if you can see that now. Sorry. So Mo and I read it. We watched the movie. We've both seen the movie before, but we wanted to watch it again after reading the book. So this is a book by Jenny Han. If you are unfamiliar with the story, it is about a 16, 17. She's a junior in high school. She could be 16 or 17. It's not really clear. Named Laura Jean Covey, which is her. This is the actress Lana Condor who portrays Laura Jean in the movies. Uh, I have to say, what I really appreciate about Jenny Han's writing is I feel like she describes teenagers really well, and I feel like she writes teenagers really well and not in a cheesy way. Like there's actually like depth to these characters, and you can kind of sense that there's more to them than we actually see on the screen, and I appreciate that. I feel like a lot of times when you see like teenage characters written, it's like whatever you see there is what you get. I really appreciate that. Yep, yeah, yeah. Mo was actually a big fan of Peter, who is the second character, like the second main character, I guess you would say, the second protagonist in the story. The story centers around. I won't spoil anything as best I can. I won't give any resolution details as best I can. So the premise of the story is Laura Jean. Sorry, it's kind of like hard to tell which hands which on with this thing. Laura Jean has these really intense feelings in the book, and whenever she feels these really intense emotions, especially romance wise, this is a romance. The genre this would be romance. Whenever she has these intense feelings, she writes letters to, you know, journal her thoughts and feelings on the story, around what's going on. And so she writes 5 letters. They all accidentally get sent out. I won't reveal how they get sent out or who does it. It is a spoiler. But they all get sent out to the boys that she wrote them to. Because they were kind of a journaling exercise, not meant to go out. One of them is Peter Kavinsky, who is I know Noah Centineo is the actor who plays it. Mo's a huge fan. He was a big fan of Peter in both the book and the movie. But so one of the people she writes a letter to is her sister's boyfriend Josh. So she has two sisters. There's 3 girls. There's 2 sisters. Margot, the older sister, who is leaving to go to school in college in Scotland when the story picks up. So we only really get to see Margot at the beginning and then a little bit at the end. Most of the middle. Margot's a presence in her Laura Jean's life, but not necessarily present because she's in college in Scotland. And then there is Catherine, but most people call her Kitty. She's the younger sister. She's in like 6th grade. She's like 11-ish, I think, in the story. But anyway, so Josh gets a letter. I like Josh. Um, maybe not as I know. Maybe not as much as Peter, but I think Josh was a good character, solid character with some development. So to avoid Josh having a conversation with Josh about these feelings, she decides to get into a fake relationship with Peter. Peter's also trying to make his ex girlfriend jealous. So the premise of the story is like they have this fake relationship about trying to get people jealous or avoid talking to other people, and it's interesting premise. I think because of the way the premise, I think they do a interesting take on relationships. I mean, it definitely put me back into the headspace of some of the relationships I had growing up. There are definitely moments in the way that Jenny Han wrote the story. There are definitely moments where I was like, For a second or two, I really thought I was back as a 16 or 17-year-old. Like, she really does a good job of putting you in that headspace. I would say so. Um, Overall, I think I don't normally feel this way, but I think I did like the movie better. So it is raining right now. There are frequently cars on the street, so you might hear some puddles splashing. I think I did like the book better, which is weird because I normally prefer the movie. The actors and actresses I thought did a good job portraying their characters. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I would say so. Um, what Mo and I both kind of really liked about the story is, or about the movie version better than the book version. I think Peter's not supposed to be a likable character for like people that aren't Laura Jean. A lot of like Margot, Josh, they don't like Peter, but he like builds on them because he's like the classic jock type, and so he's really just supposed to build up on you, and you're not supposed to like him right away, I guess. But in the movie, I think Noah Centineo does a good job of like those little small details that like show you that he's paying attention to other people in the room, and so he makes you feel heard and seen. He makes you feel like, wow, this is a really good guy who's like listening and paying attention, and he's you know making me feel special in this room, and he's making me feel like I matter in the room, and I just there were little subtle details that he would do, just like making a comment on someone's name, or you know, you like see him doing like certain glances and looking in certain directions, like he's like clearly looking and paying attention. And I thought that was really, yeah, I thought that was a really nice touch in making that because you don't necessarily get that in the book. He kind of just grows on you through the conversations. You don't see the body language, and I think that was a good part. I wish there was more mention of that body language in the book. Speaking from book to movie, one thing I do think I wish Jenny Han would have put, or I guess the directors, not necessarily Jenny Han's fault they didn't get in there. Something from the book I wish they put in the movie. In particular, was a scene. Um, so Peter's mom in the book owns an antique store, and so she is on the weekends. Peter have to go out to all these like tag sales in the area. The setting's different, by the way. In the book, it's Virginia. In the movie, it's Oregon. I think I like the Oregon detail better. It just kind of fit the characters a little more. But anyway, so they have to go out to these tag sales, and there's a scene where they're driving out, and then they're just kind of chatting, and then all of a sudden, he's out of the corner of his eyes, he's like, "Oh, those are the Epsteins. We got to beat them." And it's like there's this whole like chase scene because the Epsteins are apparently the rivals to getting things at tag sales. And then when they get out of the car, it's revealed they're like a 75-year-old couple. And there's some comedic bits to it. I think that would have been a good comedic addition to the movie. But I think the story is fine without it. Either way. The exposition, Josh and Margot get a lot more detail in the exposition. Peter's not even mentioned till like the 70th or 80th page, or at least he's barely mentioned. It's really all about Josh and Margot and who they are. I wish that was a little bit more present in the movie. They're kind of just there. It's kind of like they burn pretty hot in the first 6, 7, 10 minutes or so. But then after that point, you like Josh is around, but he's not really part of the story as much. Margot's completely gone again at college, but yeah, I think it's very solid. The resolution I think I prefer from the movie. There's a detail at the end in the movie that they get on the scene on the field. I won't reveal anything more than that, but if you've seen the movie, you know they don't have that moment in the book, and I wish it was there. I just think it would have been a nice touch. The resolution's a little bit more subtle in the book, which I don't necessarily mind, but I like the concrete details that end the movie version of the resolution. Climax is still but roughly the same. I won't. There's a change. It's a little. The scene's a little different, but it's still roughly the same moments that are the climax. Same different sequence of events. I won't reveal the climax. I don't want to give you any details. If you don't know the story, you should check it out. The movie is on Netflix, as you can see here. It does say that it's a Netflix feature. Yeah, I would say it's a very solid story. I'd give it eight. I'd rate it eight mangoes. Definitely a go again. Yeah, Mo's giving it six mangoes, but I'm giving it eight mangoes. I don't really want to compare the movie and the book too much more than that. I want you to go out and experience it. This is my next story I'm going to read. That's embarrassing. I just got this from the bookstore. I'm not going to make it dirty. This is the next book in the series, P.S. I Still Love You. I do have, so I'm going to read this one and then the last one, which is P.S. for To All the Boys I Loved Before, Forever and Always, I believe. Or maybe they're not all talk. It's in the series. Once I finish these three, the book after that I'm going to read is Good Omens. Shout out to whoever recommended Good Omens. I won't say a name if they don't want their name known, but that is kind of my next pick. I'd love to hear what you're watching, reading, experiencing. Hopefully, you are staying curious this summer and staying involved and doing something academic at least this summer. I'm going to continue doing this. I'll probably do one of these each week, so you're not overwhelmed by them, but you can kind of keep track on where I am. I will likely finish this book by the end of next week, and so I'll do a review probably towards the end of next week, maybe earlier in the week. Depends on when I finish it. Anyway, have a lovely day. Comment if you have any questions, or you have any thoughts on my review, or things you agree with, disagree with. Let me know. I'd love to hear what's going on with you. All right. Bye. All right. See you, everybody.